Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the pretty surprising science of how the food you eat every day can affect your brain health in the long run. And we're basing this on Dr. Sten Egberg's analysis. Now, this isn't about scaring you. It's about understanding what's happening inside our heads so you can actually build a solid defense.
Okay, let's just jump right in, because this chart says it all. The risk of dementia, it's not a gentle slope, it's a cliff you fall off of. At age 60, your risk is pretty low, just over 1%. Fast forward to 75, and boom, it's more than 6%. And if you make it past 90, we're talking a staggering 40% or more. That acceleration, that's what makes this so critical for every single one of us to understand.
So what is driving this trend? It's easy to point the finger at genetics, but that's really just a tiny piece of the puzzle. To figure out which foods are causing problems, we have to first understand the battlefield itself, our own brains, and man, are they demanding.
Think about this for a second. Your brain is a total energy hog. It's only 2% of your body weight, but it devours a full 20% of your energy. That means it's 10 times more active than the average cell in your body. So protecting this thing means we have to know what it's up against every single day.
Look, the science can get super complicated, but we can really boil it all down to 3 core battles your brain is fighting constantly. If you can get your head around these 3, then the role food plays becomes crystal clear.
The first battle is for energy. And this is where it gets kind of weird. It's a total paradox. Your brain can literally be starving while it's swimming in a sea of plenty. It's a state where your brain cells just can't pull in the glucose, the sugar, they need from your blood, even when your blood sugar is sky high. We'll get into how that happens in just a minute.
Next up, we've got the fight against chronic inflammation. Now, this isn't like when you sprain your ankle and it swells up. No, this is more like a silent, smoldering fire that's just constantly burning in the background, all through your body and your brain. And this silent fire is a huge driver of dementia, because it just wears down and damages your cells over time.
And the third battle, it's against neurotoxins. These are the invaders from the outside. We're talking heavy metals, pesticides, weird chemicals that launch a direct assault on your brain. They can literally dissolve and chew away at your brain cells.
All right, so let's connect the dots. What foods are actually fueling that first battle? The brain energy starvation. This is where our modern diet really takes center stage, and it's created a situation that our bodies, well, they just weren't built for. And this right here is the vicious cycle that explains the whole problem. You eat a bunch of refined carbs and sugar. Your blood sugar goes through the roof, so your body pumps out a ton of insulin to deal with it. But over time, your cells, especially your brain cells, they get tired of hearing the same message over and over. They basically start ignoring insulin. And now you're in trouble, because even with all that sugar in your blood, it can't get into your brain cells. You're starving your brain.
This quote really hits the nail on the head. The issue isn't that our bodies are flawed or stupid, not at all. Our bodies are just having a perfectly natural reaction to a completely unnatural, defective lifestyle. An amount of sugar and processed junk that humanity has literally never seen before.
But here's the cool part. Your brain has a backup generator. When the main power grid, the glucose, is down because of insulin resistance, it can flip a switch and start using something called ketones for fuel. And here's the absolute game changer. Ketones do not need insulin to get into brain cells. It's this incredible survival mechanism that can keep the lights on even when the main fuel line is broken. Okay, so we've covered the energy starvation part. Now let's talk about the foods that pour gasoline on those other 2 fires: inflammation and direct toxicity. These are the things that stoke that silent fire and deliver poisons right to your brain's doorstep.
First up, fish. And you gotta be smart about this, because not all fish are created equal. Big predator fish, think swordfish, tuna, they live a long time, and they eat other fish, so they accumulate neurotoxins like mercury. The smarter move is to go for the little guys: sardines, cod, herring. They're low in mercury and packed with the omega-3s that are the actual building blocks for your brain. You get all the good stuff without the toxic baggage.
Next on the list, pesticides. The name itself tells you they are toxins, right? The produce you see here, often called the dirty dozen, are the ones most likely to have the highest amounts of pesticide residue. We're talking about things like strawberries, spinach, grapes. So if you're going to buy organic, this is a really good place to start.
And yeah, the list goes on. This table gives you a quick rundown of some other triggers. Too much alcohol? That's a direct neurotoxin. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame can be too, plus they mess with your gut. And those highly processed seed oils you find in everything? They just fuel inflammation and oxidative stress. It all adds up to this huge chemical burden our bodies have to sort through.
Okay, I know. After hearing a list of all those villains, it's really easy to feel overwhelmed, to think you have to be perfect all the time. But that's not the point. The real takeaway here is actually about power, your power, and it's all based on one simple, timeless idea.
This is it. This is the key to everything. A little bit of sugar from a piece of fruit? That's not the problem. The problem is the massive, super concentrated dose we get from processed foods day after day after day. A lot of these things aren't evil in and of themselves, but it's our modern, constant overconsumption that turns them into a poison.
So, what you should really take away from all this is that knowing this stuff gives you control. You get it now. You understand why too much sugar starves your brain, why you should choose sardines over tuna, and why those processed oils are so bad. This isn't about a forbidden food list. It's about understanding the battlefield so you can make smarter choices to protect yourself.
So I'll just leave you with this question. Every meal, every snack, it's a choice. It's an opportunity. You can either fuel that fire of inflammation and starve your brain cells, or you can give your brain the clean energy and the building blocks it needs to thrive. The power is, quite literally, on your plate.